Let's talk about a strategy called philosophical chairs. It's basically the classic debate. The important thing about philosophical chairs is that the students participate after researching their topic. Philosophical chairs has rules similar to the ground rules that I talked about earlier. However, the teacher does go over these rules before the activity. Then the students are placed on an agreement side and a disagreement side. And then students begin to craft their statements for and or against the topic. So students can research reasons for and statements against the topic. Personally, I've used philosophical chairs a lot. I generally start with something really non controversial, just something simple, like a really low stakes issue, like maybe cell phones should be allowed at school. And students can research both sides. They have to research reasons why they believe that they should or why they should not. After they research both sides, for and against, I will then give them a choice to agree or disagree. Sometimes I will change it and I'll choose it for them, and sometimes I'll let them choose. Either way, students must be prepared to have arguments to support and statements to counter both sides. I will also typically give them language frames to use for their responses. This is especially important at the beginning of the year because students haven't had a lot of practice using these, so they need to know how to craft statements that are just civil statements, as I call them, and I refer to that in this video on academic language. But I like philosophical chairs because it fosters listening. Also, it fosters a sense of responding with a researched response. It's not something that they believe because they're passionate about it. Maybe, but they have to respond with something that's fact based. It's also it requires that the students do some research, so they have to put the time into um, learning about the topic. And in some cases, students will change their mind after learning about a topic. I've had that happen where a student initially was against cell phones, and after uh, reading and doing more research, they changed their mind. So that's something I do require them to do is research. Then they have to write their topic. So there's some writing practice involved in that as well. So again, it also increases the rigor. You can vary this according to the students you have to make it a little more rigorous. You might have them um, write their statements, and then also to practice active listening. I sometimes will have students to summarize what the previous student before them said. And so that just depends on the group. It also gives them some practice with active listening so that they're actively having to ask the person, do you mind restating what you said? Or just to clarify, you meant to say, etc., etc. So after this activity, we also do a reflection too. And I've posted a section about the reflection that I have students do. It's just a self reflection. And then gradually, as students get more comfortable with philosophical chairs, I'll use it for more controversial, more contentious, tougher topics. A variation of philosophical chairs is called Take a Stand. With this activity, the teacher simply creates anywhere from 5 to 10 statements. Can be more, or they can be kind of low stakes um, statements, or they can be really controversial statements. I would recommend starting with the lower stakes statements until the students get comfortable, and then you can ramp it up to more contentious topics later. So Students simply hold up a sign or post-it note or just some kind of symbol where they agree with the statement or they disagree with the statement. Then they must give one reason why. So they must have a rationale for their stand. Still, another variation of this is something called Would You Rather? And it's just, again, two questions. Would you rather eat hot dogs for the rest of your life or eat only potato chips, for example? That's something that's really low stakes, and students either can respond with one choice or the other. And then again, they must give a reason for their reason for choosing it. I like these activities because they promote discussion, and you can also add discussion with supported reasons or evidence. It kind of gets used to it gets the students accustomed to making a statement and then supporting it with some fact or some kind of reason or evidence. It's a really good beginning way to get your students into starting discussions, and then you can gradually, as they get more comfortable, include more and more controversial or tough topics.